Welcome back to Metals, Money, and Markets. We're at May 18th from MiningClips.com. I'm Rob Goodman, and as always, Mickey Fulp, the Mercenary Geologist, will run through this. Okay, Mickey, interest rates at a high. You got gold tanking because of a strong dollar. Let's get into it here where, again, the metals were very weak this week.
Yeah, gold sold off big time. We've been concerned about this possibly was going to happen, and it certainly did with 400,000 contracts coming in on Tuesday morning, knocked it down below 1,300. It finished below 1,300. Hawkish Fed comments, interest rates rising, dollar up, gold down, below its 200-day moving average, which is about 1,308. That said, it closed well below that at 1,292 for a 2% loss. Silver lost 21 cents to close at 1641. Platinum was the big loser. It's now at a 6-month low at 883, 4% loss. And palladium lost 2.5% to close at 962.
And copper also in the red.
Had a quiet week. We've seen some really volatile weeks lately with all this trade war and trade tariff talk. Kind of quiet and remains in the blahs. It's now 4 months in backwardation. So it does not look particularly bullish in the short term. For readers of my newsletter, I will have a musing on the confusing copper market, hopefully out on Monday.
And shifting gears into energy, where the trend is up for oil again.
Yeah, it was up. WTI hit 71.31. Was actually off a bit today, but that's still over a percent gain for the week. Brent's over $80 now, so my gosh, that arbitrage is pushing $9. We haven't seen that in ages. I can't remember when. Really, it's about Iran and a tighter market. Some positive news is that the European Union is moving to avoid U.S. sanctions and Trump pressure by refusing to deal with Iran. So that's good from a U.S. viewpoint. U.S. rigs up 1. Holy Knuckleville, Batman, Canada went up 4 rigs this week for the first time in maybe 2 months. So the Canucks, at least someplace, must be getting nice weather someplace, and they start up 4 drill rigs. Production, U.S. up 20,000 barrels once again this week. Inventory's down a bit. Gas price going above $3 for the summer driving season. And of course, everybody's wringing their hands about that. It might cost you $100 more to drive this summer. So what's that? Cost of 3 or 4 cases of beer, cost of a cheap dinner at some diner with a wife and kids. So let's put that in perspective. Venezuelan elections are Sunday. We all know that's a sham. And the debate right now is whether more sanctions are necessary, because that economy is going downhill fast. Finally, uranium had a very good week. It went above $22 for the first time in a couple of months, closed at $22.13 for over a 2% gain.
And heading over to the currencies, where as spoken, the dollar had a nice rally. Really bounced off that 90 level nicely.
Well, yeah, if you want a stronger dollar, and it certainly doesn't help the businesses that we are in. DXY closed at 93.69, up 1.2%. This is a high since mid-December, but really on the back of a weak euro, a weak British pound, and a weak loonie, and also driven by interest rates. 10-year bond hit its 7-year high, closed yesterday at 3.11%. Euros off about the same amount, closed at 118. Loonie lost 0.6%, closed below 78 cents at 7765.
And wrapping up the equities markets, relatively flat across the board.
Yeah, the markets were a little antsy this week, especially with concerning the interest rates. We should mention that Russell 2000 is the big news. 3-day record highs. It's now at 1627, absolutely surging. And there's been some concern since about a month after Trump was elected that the small business sector, the small cap sector, was not participating as much in the rally. Well, it's catching up right now. You've got to think the tax cuts have something to do with that. Dow closed off 0.5%, 24,715. S&P 500 also down 0.5% at 2713. Nasdaq closed down 0.7% at 73.4. The markets are just vacillating in May.
And the venture squeezed out a minor gain.
Yeah, it gained back over the last couple of weeks what it had lost a couple of weeks before. Closed at 786, up 3 points. Volumes were up considerably. Last week we were looking at, 55 million shares, average 73 million shares this week, but that was driven by some weed stocks, and especially on Monday had a very high volume day, some sort of news in marijuana space.
Okay, Mickey, appreciate the insight as always, and we'll keep our eye on the wire and the geopolitics. Have a fantastic weekend.
All right, you too, Rob.